Music, movies, and games. In order to get the best experience out of all three, we need a good pair of headphones. And in this video, we're going to be doing an unboxing and a review on the EKSA E900X headset. For some reason, we have both of them. Let me know what I should do with the second one. Aside from that, we're going to be comparing the differences with that and the HyperX Cloud 3 and the Corsair HS80 headphones as well. We're going to be comparing all the differences between the three, but only one can win. So without wasting any more time, let's get started with the unboxing and then move on to the review. If you'd like, you could skip ahead down below with the chapters. Teanyway, let's get started. All right, here again, we can see the EKSA E900X wireless gaming headset. Along the front, we can see 7.1 sound base, voice pure ENC, lightning bolt wireless. The wireless transceiver is 5.8 gigahertz. On top of that, it's USB type A and USB type C, so that's nice. Compatibility's sake, this is compatible with PS5, PS4, the Nintendo Switch, laptops, which is a PC, Windows 7, 8, 10, and of course PC. It doesn't say 11, I'm gonna assume that it is, but it also doesn't say iOS. Now, along the side over here, we can see all basically the same, except over here, dual chambers and CloudSoft ear cushions. As I mentioned earlier, 5.8 gigahertz wireless gaming headset. Nothing along the top. And the side over here shows a little bit of the headphones. Along the back, we can see a little bit of the story of the headphones, some of the specifications and package contents. So let's open it up real quick. So real quick, you can see the up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, missing another BA and a start for Contra. All right. And here it shows what it brings. 2 cables along with the USB type C and USB type A. 5.8 gigahertz wireless gaming headset. Innovation for gamers. We'll get to this in one sec. Let's see what's in here real quick. All right. Velcroed up is a 3.5 millimeter cable. So you have USB type A, USB type C, and 3.5 millimeter. And this cable from end to end is 75 inches. This cable goes from USB type A to USB type C. This is considerably shorter, measuring from end to end 22 inches. And before we get to the bag, this was also in the box. So it brings a user's manual, but don't worry, we'll go over all of this in this video. And then product registration and FAQ. Actually, it shows Mac OS here, so that's nice. I don't have an iOS device, so I can't test that. And then the little transceiver here, it is really tiny. So it pulls apart, USB type C right over here. And that will go connected right into here to the USB type A. Cool. All right, and now the headset. So this is a 15 millisecond ultra low latency device, and it will connect through USB type C, through Bluetooth or USB type A, 10 meters or up to 33 feet. Oh, wow. Okay, these are, well, they're kind of a leatherette material. They're not leather, but they're tremendously thick. So they might be incredibly comfortable. I don't know just yet. So left, right, just in case you forget. And they are movable here, in and out like that. You can't turn them, but you can open them up. And then connecting the cable through here, we can see that coiled up right over here, rubberized. All right, the side kind of looks like a turtle shell. Pretty cool, actually. And the headphone, that's kind of cool. It's kind of hides in there when you don't want to use it. And when you want to use it, just pull it out. And then we have over here for raising and lowering the volume, for muting and unmuting the microphone, power, and then the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack connection. Right over here is the USB type C connection, and she is a simple pair of headphones. The top over here feels nice and cushy. If you're like me, you have a bald head, and this might make you sweat a little bit, but we'll find out soon enough. And that same kind of leatherette material goes along here and right along here where it shows an indentation of EKSA. Looks really nice. Again, I kind of like that turtle shell design there. Looks kind of cool. Reminds me of the Ninja Turtles. So before we can actually use the headset, we need to download and install the drivers. Let me show you how to do that real quick. So we'll go to the EKSA E900X website, which I'll link down in the description below. And then we'll go to support and we'll click driver download. Scroll down a tiny bit. Here we'll see the E900X and we'll click download. And then here we'll see the EKSA 7.1 surround sound driver. And then we can just go ahead and click on the down arrow here to download them. It's going to scan for viruses first. Now just realize it's an exe that is zipped up. So we need to extract it before we can use it. And then click download anyway. It might take a minute. And once that's done downloading, we can click on the little folder here. And then we can double click on the zip file. And then double click on the file within the zip file since it's only one file, and then click more info and run anyway. And you'll get this surround sound setup. So we'll click next wherever you want to choose to install it, and then next and install. And then once it's done, we'll uncheck the README and click finish. And then we can just close out of all of this here. Now, once that's downloaded and installed, we'll go ahead and connect the transmitter to any one of your ports. And you can either use USB type A or USB type C. And then once that's connected, we'll go ahead and turn on the headset. To turn it on, you'll press and hold this power button right here. And you'll know it's on when you see this red triangle turn on. Okay, and it's on. So now I'm hearing everything come out of the headphones, not from my other sound source. But actually, if you can't hear it, let me show you how to get to that real quick. So if you can't hear it, we'll click on this little speaker down here, and then we'll click over here, and then we'll select that speaker. So if you're on here, we'll select speakers EKSA 900X. If you want to use the microphone, make sure to pull that out, and it'll kind of sort of click when it's fully extended. Then from here, we can open up that EKSA surround sound. So now that we open that up, we can actually see there is an actual GUI here. Right now we're under stereo sound music. We can select 7.1 surround sound gaming or mic ENC. Before we start testing and before we start doing some comparing, one other thing I wanted to show you is this little button right over here that we use to power on the headphones. We can also use to switch between different profiles. So I'm going to put it close to my microphone so you can hear it. So I'm going to switch right over here
gaming mode
to gaming mode,
music
mode, which is in stereo only, movie mode, which is virtual surround sound, and gaming
mode
again will be virtual surround sound. And of course, you can always switch them manually here. Now, the other cool thing about this software is the fact that while say you're on FPS, which positional audio is incredibly important, under all of these modes, if you want to test how it sounds like, just press play here. Front left, center, front right, and I can hear it over here, everywhere, and it sounds virtually like I'm in that environment. So that is pretty cool. So now let's do some comparison with the Cloud 3 wireless headset. To start off with, we're going to be using the EKSA E900X microphone. I want to see how it sounds like in Windows, and then after that, we're going to be using the Cloud 3, and then we're going to be comparing them. So let's start with that, and let's go ahead and type in recorder for sound recorder. And we've done some testing here before, but we'll just verify that here we're using the EKSA. Perfect. And now I'm going to put it this far from my mouth, a little over an inch. So I'm testing the EKSA microphone to see how good it sounds. It's about 1.5 inches maybe away from my mouth. So I want to see how it sounds. All right, so with that, recording 3, let's see how that sounds real quick. To not confuse it, let's go ahead and delete these guys. I'm testing the EKSA microphone to see how good it sounds. It's about 1.5 inches maybe away from my mouth. So I want to see how it sounds. Wow, that's incredibly clear and incredibly loud. And I have not played with the volume levels or anything for the microphone. And just in case, if we come down here and we click on the little arrow to the right over here, we'll select the headphones right over here. If we select more volume settings down here, and scroll down a tiny bit. Under input, we want to make sure that the EKSA E900X is selected. And actually you could see while we're talking here, it's moving around and it's set to 80%. So now we're going to be testing with the HyperX Cloud 3. I have the microphone now about 1.5 inches away from my mouth. And to start off with, we're going to click down here. Just make sure we have the HyperX Cloud 3 wireless, and under more volume, we have that selected here as well. And we can hear it right over here. It's not coming out as much as it did. Maybe I have the volume rocker here, if that helps. That's not helping at all the microphone. The microphone just might be low, though we have it extended fully over here, and maybe it's under the HyperX software, which I didn't want to play with, but I don't want, and the volume is all the way up as well. Maybe we enable spatial audio. So we'll come under voice here, and then we make sure that we have, let's just make sure, HyperX and HyperX. Okay, perfect. And now we're testing to see how the HyperX works with the microphone, and it's selected here. I don't see anything here. Show in folder. And now this is the EKSA, and this is the HyperX. And now we're testing to see how the HyperX works with the microphone, and it's selected here. I don't see anything here. So that's interesting. It does sound clear, but it kind of sounds further away, and this is the same as the other one, especially as far away from my mouth. So the EKSA right now wins on the microphone. So let's do some sound testing real quick. Since I have these on already, I'm gonna start with these. So let's play some Call of Duty. We're playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and just so that you have a little idea of what we're working with. Headphones, I'm just choosing those for now. Stereo.
Free. Hostiles in all directions. Clear to engage.
And let's see how this sounds. That was easy. It sounds good, but like the microphone, everything just sounds a little far away. Even though it's right on my ears, obviously, it doesn't sound like I'm holding the gun. So coming back over here and under audio, again, headphones, and we're using the Cloud 3 stereo, and master volume is 100. I do have the voice chat off, push to talk, microphone input, which is the HyperX Cloud, and you know, everything sounds or looks like it should here. All right, so we were defeated. I played the entire round. Again, these sound good, but it kind of sounds very airy, very spacious. And let me try to disable one thing. Maybe it's the spatial audio. So just coming out of there real quick. I'm gonna try one round. You won't be able to hear it, but I'll be able to hear the spatial sound. I wanna see if that makes a difference. So 1 sec. So we won this round, and the THX, or the audio that I disabled, it still didn't make a tremendous difference. Everything sounds kind of far away. So let's jump back to the EKSA and see how that works. All right, so now I have the EKSA connected. Let's get to testing. I am switching to the gaming mode out of the music, movie, and gaming. All right, so as we're waiting for the match to load under audio, I have the EKSA selected, and then for microphone as well. Not that the microphone's gonna matter, but just to show you. So already, the audio sounds so much clearer, closer too. It's actually incredibly odd how much better it sounds. Nice. So some of the things that are saving me are hearing those footsteps nice and early. Oof. Nice. So I was defeated, but the audio was so much clearer and everything sounded like it should sound. It wasn't spatial like the other one had that I disabled. It sounded great, and they're both closed earphones, so I can't tell you what to say about that, but these sound much better. And I haven't tested the music or the movie, but I played in gaming, as we all should for gaming. But anyway, let's test to see how these work on a PS5. Now for the PS5, we're gonna go ahead and connect the adapter to the front. It can be USB Type A or Type C, it doesn't really matter. And by the way, the battery turns off on this after 15 minutes of inactivity. Okay, immediately, no configuration. It went directly to here. All right, so you should also be hearing my voice. I'm gonna play a quick round, something that my son hasn't played recently. Let's do this one. So right now you're hearing gameplay and my voice, or you should be at least. All right, so far everything sounds nice. Okay. Everything sounds close up as well. Oh, there's some crime around here.
Some jerks are trying to break into that building. It was my plan. You're lucky I invited you along in the first place. Oh no, it's Spider-Man! Help with that? You're done now, Spider-Man!
I don't play very often.
We have to win! There's more where that came from.
Paying too much attention to the audio, but everything sounded great. The gunfire, everything sounded like it was right there in my face. So let's try the HyperX real quick. So with the HyperX, the same way, I just connect the adapter. This one is both USB Type A or Type C. Okay, so it's connected to adapter, and I think it's on. Maybe I need to raise it more. Everything just sounds a little bit more further away with these.
Looks like one of Marco's memory crystals Miles told me about. I should check it out.
Where is that memory? Oh!
Thought I'd see you guys again. Sand in my boots, in my gloves. This is a nightmare.
Just another quickie. Again, for some reason, these seem far away, and I don't remember if on my previous review I felt that way. I do remember a little airiness, but compared to the EKSA, these sound further away. You gotta let me know how my voice sounds here as well. The EKSA E900X headset has a bunch of pros and a few cons. Comparing it to the HyperX Cloud 3, they are an amazing set. This has a few pros and cons as well. One thing that I love the most about these headsets is you're able to go a little further in your house, let's say 35 feet instead of 30 feet that you can go with these. So not a tremendous difference, but that one little inch could make a huge difference for some people. The other thing is this has 120 hours of battery life, while this guy has about 23 hours. Now, comparing to the HS80, the HS80 had about 23 hours as well. These were a good pair of headphones, but the Cloud 3 beat those out in my previous review. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below so you could check it out. Comparing the HS80 and the Cloud 3, they both sounded great, but I wasn't able to tell how far away the sound was. Now I know the HS80 has that same issue. The EKSA 900X brings everything a little closer and it sounds a little better. If you listened to the recordings, you'll hear that the microphone is a bit harsh. You might need to lower the levels a little bit, while the microphone on the Cloud 3 was a bit lower and it captured my voice well, just a little tiny bit low. So you have to find that happy medium between the two. Depends on what you like there. The sound levels and everything on these and the profiles and everything, the virtual surround sound, while it is kind of gimmicky, actually works out well on these headphones. Now, it is a preference, but you can either have your microphone in like this if you're not going to use it, or you can extend it like this. Whereas with the Cloud 3, it's always there unless you physically take it off. So you could always potentially lose it, but it's also a good thing because if you do lose it, you do break it, you can always replace it. Right now for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, these are actually both the same price. But if you fall outside of that date, the Cloud 3 are more expensive than these. So another reason I would recommend these. Now, one other odd thing, and it could be just the headphones I got, the headband kind of warped pretty soon after I got it. Mind you, you won't be able to tell once you put it on, but once you stretch it out past a certain point, this side warped, this side is perfectly straight. And I've been using that one for a few months, the HS80 for a few years. HS80 hasn't had any issues whatsoever. And these I've been using for, let's say, close to a month already. No issues whatsoever. They're still good every which way, and they haven't warped at all. That being said, they feel more sturdy than the Cloud 3, especially now that I know that they have this little warping thing, and hopefully that helps you out as well. They still sound great. They still feel normal, but it looks a bit odd, whereas the other ones don't have that issue. They just open up perfectly well. The cushioning on this, a lot thicker than the cushioning on the Cloud 3. They both feel good. This, you will sweat a little tiny bit more than you will sweat with these. I haven't sweated with these just yet. I might have sweated just a tiny bit with the Cloud 3 because I've had them longer, but these are much more comfortable and more plushy. I can hear the as I'm pushing them in like that. The adapters for the Cloud 3 versus the EKSA E900X, they're really about the same. This just goes straight out, while this one goes straight out and then kind of curves out here. You can disconnect it so you can have a USB Type-C, whereas on the Cloud 3, just disconnect it here and you have a Type-C as well. So they're about the same. The HyperX software is a little more intrusive because you have to download that off of the Microsoft Store, and it has a bunch of features, though I didn't find a good way to utilize their equalizer, while the equalizer on this works perfectly well. So that's one thing you might want to take notice of. This has virtual surround sound, whereas these are just stereo. Nothing wrong with it. Kind of gimmicky at best. The virtual surround does not work on the Switch or the PS5. On either of them, this will only work with the virtual surround sound on the PC. You don't need to use the virtual surround sound if you don't want it, but it's there if you do want it. And they both will also work with 3.5mm. Now, personally, I would recommend the EKSA E900X over the Cloud 3, only for the use itself and the sound and everything, except the battery. The battery on these, 23 hours versus 120 hours. These still sound great, and the battery life is amazing, while these sound slightly better, and the battery life isn't that great. These are cheaper than these as well, once you're out of Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So totally up to you on that. Now, if you want to see the review of this with the HS80, check out this video up above, and I'd love to get your feedback on both. Iggy with ThisBytesForYou out. See you guys.